Aldnoah.Zero. This series is very nice, and I'll say this right now. All of the series that are coming out at this point, mid to late summer, they are all very great, and I might be reviewing them. If the episodes continue to entertain me, then I'll make a review on them. So they are all very great, like I said at the moment, like Akame ga Kill, Toyko Ghoul, definitely, Zangro, was it Zangro No Terror? I saw episode 1 for that. But I'll get into that, but I'll be making a review on the next episodes of all those that I mentioned, from like 1 to 2 or 1 to 3 of how many episodes they all have, because you know they're all really recent starting animes that have recently started. So I'll probably be reviewing those, so look out for those as well. And this is actually my first time reviewing anything like anime stuff manga wise, besides like reviewing anything besides Naruto, and this is also my first time reviewing an episode, so hopefully you guys enjoy. So this series, the animation, I'll say, I believe is also directed by the same director from Fate.Zero. I haven't finished Fate.Zero, but I know it's a very popular series. A lot of people like it. It's on Netflix. I'm on like episode 2, but I'll say that the animation for this series was great. I loved it. It looked very smooth. Altogether, I was outstanded by the animation. I really loved it, and the whole vibe was just, it felt, I don't know, you got that the sky was just never clear. You get this like loomy, I don't know if that's a word, but you get this loomy type of feel to the whole series, and it's just real nice. It's like an industrial type of thing. And from when I first saw it, I saw mechas. I'm like, I'm not really a fan of mechas and futuristic. Come to find out, it's not futuristic at all. It's same time as same years, and it starts off in 2014. Except they obviously have huge robots and stuff. And at first I wasn't really digging it from the pictures that I saw and everything, so I'm not into that type of stuff. And like I said, I thought it was futuristic. I don't like futuristic stuff usually, but this one, it blew me away. I loved it. So pretty much on the moon, about 15 years ago, they found some artifacts pretty much on the moon, the Hypergate, which is some advanced old technology from a long time ago, from some old civilization. And the Hypergate allowed them to settle and make civilization on Mars. Now, after they got on Mars, they found more technology, and the Verse Empire claimed it. And pretty much the Verse Empire are kind of people who feel as if they are bigger or better than it seems. Well, at least that's how they act. They act like gods compared to the humans on Earth, even though they're pretty much the same. They're all the same race, but they're saying that they're like the Verse race. They're different. So they claimed it at that point, and afterwards they also declared war on Earth, and they waged the war on the moon, which made the Hypergate react and blow up the moon. And there's a whole bunch of debris, and obviously the moon blowing up had a negative effect on Earth, such as tsunamis and etc, etc. As we already know in real life, if the moon goes, then we go. I don't know if we go or not, but it maintains the gravitational pull with the ocean and such as that. It just maintains a whole bunch of stuff. So the moon is very vital, kids. So the moon blew up. I don't think they were able to return to Mars. I don't think so. I believe now the Verse Empire is now living on the big rocks. Well, they made a type of civilization on the debris of the moon, which is I think orbiting the Earth at this point, from what I've seen. So pretty much they made a ceasefire at that point, and 15 years later in 2014, so I'm guessing the war happened in like 1999 or something like that in their world. 15 years later, they're sending their princess down to Earth to make peace with everything, make everything nice. Now you have Slain, who's pretty much the assistant, also the same age as the princess, pretty much assists her, and you have the Count, which seems to look over her as maybe like a father figure in a way. And the Count, he seems to be a very, very sleazy character. I don't know, he's very screwed up. As soon as the princess left to go to Earth, and she said bye to Slain, the Count came in and slapped the hell out of Slain. And you could tell that he didn't like Slain from the start, because pretty much when the episode 1 first started, I believe it was episode 1, when the princess and Slain were first shown, after the princess left the room, excuse me, the Count was just standing there, and he gives a very green behind look to Slain. That's obviously showing that he didn't like him too much, or he resents him in a way for some whatever reason. Maybe it's because he's from what I think is he is from Earth, I believe, and he was saved by the princess. I could be mistaken, or maybe he is also from the Verse Empire. But either way, Slain and his father, who he no longer has his father, were saved by the princess, and he's very loyal to her for that. So pretty much the princess is supposed to go to Earth, make peace with everything. So they go, And also, it seems he's the main character. The main character, who I think is I think his name is Inaho. He's looks like he's in high school or something. Has an older sister. I believe him and his older sister live together from what we've seen. We haven't seen no mom or no dad. And his two friends, seems he is also the smartest of his class. He's a very keen character, very smart, very quiet, doesn't really show too much emotion, very like a not really nonchalant. Yeah, I guess you could say nonchalant, doesn't really care, nothing really affects him, and it's really hard to make him show emotion, you could say. So the princess goes to Earth, and you know, she's getting escorted in a limousine. You have a whole crowd of people gathering. It's so nice. You have Inaho there with his two friends and someone with other classmates, and Inaho is the first person. Okay, now pretty much there is a truck loaded with missiles to hit the entourage of the princess, along with all the escort vehicles, security, blah blah blah. The missiles go, and Inaho is the first one. That's why I say he's very keen. He was the first one to notice, and he didn't even show any emotion. He was like, "Yeah, we should get away from here." But yeah, he was like, "We should leave this area." He showed no emotion. He just had a stare, and his friends were just sitting there smiling, like, "Yeah." So they didn't really understand what he was talking about. And when I saw that the princess was going to Earth, I had a very bad feeling. I already knew that she was going to be targeted. You know, from all the build-up, it was pretty obvious that she was going to be targeted. So missiles attack, and the princess gets out of the vehicle. Now there's a twist. Turns out it's not the vehicle. I mean, it turns out it's not the princess. We find out that out in, like, I think episode 2, that it actually wasn't the princess, and it was actually a decoy, because she felt ill because of the different gravity of the Earth. So instead they sent a replacement / decoy to go in her place, and hey, it was for the best, it seems. Now I don't know if the Verse Empire knows this, and also the people who sent the missiles after the entourage of the princess, I don't know if they're Earthlings who want to be part of the Verse Empire, or are they members of the Verse Empire. So pretty much the entourage gets blown up. Inaho's classmate, the female, she's all scared. She's like, "Oh, what's happening?" The missiles are blowing up, and like I said, I don't know if the Verse Empire used this as a way to wage war with Earth. Maybe they don't know that the princess is actually alive. It's very unclear at this point. Maybe we have to wait to episode 3 to reveal that, but we don't even know where the princess is at this point. Maybe she's back at the spaceship or wherever they're at in space. So pretty much the Verse people, they retaliate. Time to wage war. Pretty much they send these kind of space pods down to Earth, which are huge, to land on Earth. You have one in New Orleans. You have one in I believe someplace in Japan and Beijing and somewhere else, and pretty much just going all over the Earth. I'm surprised they didn't go to somewhere more, you know, important in the US, such as maybe New York or something. That kind of surprised me. I was like, really, New Orleans? But you know, still a big city. They get sent there, and pretty much they're meant to clear out the whole vicinity of the area. And pretty much when they drop, it's pretty much atomic bombs. Now let me tell you, when it dropped in New Orleans, this is also, I was hoping that when they would have showed characters talking in the US, that they would have been English, such as something like Toyko Ghoul, but except with the stupid Australian sounding accent for Americans. I don't know why they did that in Toyko Ghoul, where they had the Americans with a weird sounding Australian accent, because you know, we don't sound like that. But instead they had them speaking Japanese. I'm like, really? You're not gonna go to New Orleans to hear people speaking Japanese? But either way, it's not that big of a problem. So when it drops in New Orleans, it is like an atomic bomb, a huge atomic bomb. So it's like a mushroom cloud over a mushroom cloud. It was a mushroom cloudception. And when that music hit, throughout all of this, I was getting a weird Attack on Titan vibe. I'm like, yo, I'm getting that vibe again. And when that music hit, I was like, yo, this sounds just like Attack on Titan. And I got the chills. I got that same chill that I got when I first started watching Attack on Titan. And with some research, I found out that actually the same person who does the soundtrack for Attack on Titan is doing the soundtrack for this series. And I was like, okay, now it all makes sense. You know, the voice sound, the music sound the same and everything. And like I said, you guys should really watch it. When that music hits, I had to replay it like 5 times. It was just beautiful. And you know, you just get that feel. It's like, god damn, like buildings are getting incinerated, people are getting incinerated, cars are getting blown back, car on fire, bridges are falling. It's just mayhem. It was like, wow, what's that? You getting that Attack on Titan feel. So after that, all of them drop on different locations around the Earth. It seems as if the Count is, you know, partially directing this attack on the Earth, and Slain, who remember is like kind of the helper of the princess, is also got sent to Earth to pretty much wage war against the Earthlings, and it seems he doesn't want to, which makes me further think that he is also an Earthling. I'm just gonna call him Earthling, people from Earth. It seems he's also an Earthling, because he was very reluctant. It seems he didn't want to hurt anyone, and he was pretty much the pilot. And there's two people in the mecha. I'll call them mechas. Slain was reluctant to attack them, so the other person, he was pretty much ruthless on attacking them. He was calling people rats. Pretty much, he called the terrorist. I can't recall them terrorists. He was calling the people who attacked the princess rats. I don't know why. Like I said, I still think there's people who want to be part of the empire who are actually Earthlings, but I don't know. So he was attacking them. Also, Inaho's sister seems to be part of the military force pretty much, and it seems everyone who goes to school in that time also has to do some training in the military, whatever type of military of some sort that they have, where they all fight in mechas. But pretty much the Earth mechas had no effect against the Verse mechas. Their mechas were just more advanced, it seems. The one mecha that Slain was in, along with his companion, pretty much disintegrated everything in its path. Like, he could just walk through anything, nothing could hurt it. It was just, they couldn't do anything to it. Mechas were challenging it, they got disintegrated. And back to what I was saying with Inaho having no emotion, he saw his sister going there, and he didn't really show any, he had no worry or anything of the sorts for his sister going into battle. Even when his sister was getting pretty much about to die from the Verse mecha, he showed no emotion. And when his friend, while they were running away from the ruthless dude in the disintegrating mecha, who pretty much disintegrated everything, I don't know how, pretty much the friend flew out of the Jeep, or flew out of the vehicle they were escaping in, where they were rescuing people who got left behind. He flew out. Inaho grabs his hand to try to save him, and while he's slipping out of his grips, the ruthless dude in the mecha saw that his friend was slipping out of his grips. He stomps on the ground, shakes everything, and makes his friend lose his grip, and then just get disintegrated by the Verse mecha. And as that happened, Inaho showed no emotion. Even afterwards, he showed no emotion. He had a blank expression throughout this whole episode 1 and 2. And even while his sister, and he's back to what I was saying, why he's very smart. When his sister's mecha fell upon the vehicle and it was slowing them down, he told his female classmate to hit the brakes in order to make part of the mecha disintegrate against the Verse mecha, because, you know, like I said, this disintegrates anything in its path, to make it so it wasn't dragging the vehicle behind. So pretty much only the head of the mecha was left where his sister was, so she was pretty much unharmed. So that was a very smart tactic by him, or they would have probably all died. And there's also a guy in the series, I can't remember his name, so forgive me for that, but he fought in pretty much, I mean, it seems as if he fought in the war 15 years ago, and it seems as if the people on Earth are hiding something from its people for some reason. And when no one believes the guy who fought 15 years ago, that is, no one believes him when he tells them what happened 15 years ago. I'm not sure what happened 15 years ago. I don't think that was explained, but no one wants to believe him. And everyone in his platoon, it wasn't his platoon, it was someone else's platoon, but he was in the platoon. Everyone in his platoon got wiped out by the disintegrating Verse mecha. And there was one dude in his squad who also didn't believe that the dude fought in the war 15 years ago. He was also very arrogant. He didn't want the guy commanding his platoon or anything, and he ended up getting murked. So it seems that the dude who fought in the war 15 years ago is still alive. I was happy that he wasn't dead. Also, when all of the pods were dropping on Earth with all of the Verse Empire's military and everything, when they were dropping on Earth, this was so very ironic. They showed little kids staring at the sky at nighttime, and they thought it was shooting stars. And one of the little kids wished for world peace. And it was so ironic that he wished for world peace when in reality they weren't even stars. They were actually war engaging. So that was very clever. The episode was great. I would Man, like I said, I wasn't really planning on watching it, and I was very blown away because I wasn't expecting any of this. I would give it a good 9. I'd give it a good 9 out of 10. I can't really take away anything much from it because, you know, it's only been 2 episodes. There's so much that they can still tell us, so there's not really any plot holes yet at this point. So yeah, I rated it a 9 out of 10. It was real good. I believe I got to everything that I really wanted to say. Episode 3 review, if I do decide to do one, will be much shorter. You know, this one, you know, I kind of reviewed 2 episodes in whole, so yeah, this one's kind of long. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Tell me what you guys think. I do recommend you guys check it out. Hopefully you guys went and checked it out before you guys watch this review, so you guys can understand more of what I'm talking about. And if not, hopefully what I said has enticed you to watching it, because I do recommend it. So tell me what you guys think, and I'll talk to you 6 people later.